Use the code CHICKEN in the shop.
Hey guys, the Chickens here, back to another Boom Beach video. In today's video, guys, we've had a little bit of time at the tech tree now, and I think we've somewhat hashed out our day one path. Now, of course, this is subject to change. Always the best thing to do is to wait and see what is going to be the play on day one of Warships. I got the doggo, he's licking at my feet. I'll see if I can get the camera set up. But yeah, so here's what we're looking at in terms of day one, guys. We've got to figure it out. We've got to figure out what's going to be. Anyways, there's a dog. It's going to take some experimenting, but I think we've at least got an idea of where we want to go. So let's take a look at the tech tree here. Now, if you want to stay up to date and everything, Season 55, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I do appreciate those of you that have been using that code chicken in the shop. There was a builder bundle, something like that in there. So appreciate that. And yeah, so here's what we're looking at, guys. Here's what we're looking at. So right out of the gates, Brick, Zookas, Grenadiers. What's the best option? I think what we want to do is skip a little bit further ahead. I think this is kind of where you want to go right out of the gates because it gives us some defense, and I think it's going to give us better offense. Warriors are going to be good, but look, like, keep in mind, we've got, what do we got? One Sky Shield. We've got two Sky Shields that you could almost get on day. Most people will probably have them on day one. Whether they end up running Sky Shields, I'm not sure. But if Warriors are a problem, I don't see Warriors being very good for longer than like 10 minutes. So I think I would skip Warriors for most people because we've also got Riflemen right here. And I think Rifle, Zuka, and Brick, I feel like that's going to be fairly strong right out of the gates. And I like that paired up with the troop damage on this boost as well. If we need to, we can switch it maybe to troop health. But that's only going to be for bases that are super dirty. So I think troop damage at the beginning of the season. And then maybe as we progress a little bit, then maybe switch to troop health. Keep in mind, we could alternate that with Brick as well, right? We could go troop damage on the stat boost. And then we could use maybe Iron Will with Brick if everyone needs to have more help staying alive. Or we could do the opposite. We could go Troop Health on the stat boost, and we could go Battle Orders with Brick. So it's a trade-off, which is really cool because it's going to be tough. I think this season especially, it's going to be very difficult to find out what's best because there's so many options, which is really cool. So as we move forward a little bit, what are we looking at as we move closer into 4 ERs? We actually, or no, that's not connected. So as we move to 4 ERs, what's going to be the best path? I think picking up Rifleman is going to be good. Like if we skip ahead a little bit here, heavies aren't available until after 4. So, typically rifles are better than heavies if we're going to be using Zookas. Well, they are better than heavies. If we're able to heavy rush, which again, with all the Sky Shields, I don't see that being a thing. And there's also Doom Cannons, and we'll have Boom Cannons before we get heavies, so I don't know. But as we move forward here, we've got two options. We got if we do pick up the Rifle Flames, great, and then we're either going middle path or top path. So middle path involves a troop boost, a Sky Shield, medics, and this path involves another boost and another proto. So I would say get all 4, honestly. I think that's going to be the best way to go. Unless you really do want to rush ahead, then I would just stick to, I might even skip rifles because then you're going to get to heavies faster. If you really want to, get to heavy chopper, get to seeker, get to all the crazy stuff, that might be a viable option as well. After 4 ER, it gets really tricky. This is where I just simply do not know yet. I'm not going to tell you guys to go up or down because it's impossible to tell at this point. But it's a lot of keys to go down, though. Tanks, Everspark, Cryoneers. They put shock bombs earlier this season compared to last season, having them after 7 ER. But we've got to pay 24, 42, 24, so what's that, 50, almost 100, over 100 keys to unlock the shocks. Assuming we're not using Spark, Tanks, or Cryoneers, because we already have Brick, so we already have our hero. So that's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, if it becomes super dirty, maybe that stuff would be good. But you know it's not going to be the final meta. The final meta is not usually ever Spark. It's not ever tanks, and we hardly ever see Cryoneers mixed in. So we have another boost over here. Building damage, building health, gunboat energy. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, at this point, usually defense is stronger early on, right? So stacking up the defensive boost might be the key, but it might be the exact opposite. It might be, if you're able to go Rifle Zuka with a bunch of troop damage, that might be even better. And then we've got our first troop boost. Not a troop boost in the sense of stats, but a troop boost in the sense of troop boost. The season of multi-nodes, it's like every second node is an exclamation mark. So yeah, I would probably go, I think last time when we were doing Rifle Zuka, we went with the Rifleman boost here. Just depends. If we're not having problems fizzling, then go with Zukas for the extra damage. If we are, then we want to go with Rifles to keep them alive longer. So we move forward into 5 engines. We've got Shock Bombs. We've got Barrage. I mean, it's really going to get tricky as we get down here. So let's keep it more in tune to day 1. So in terms of token spending, token management, obviously max out landing crafts, that goes without saying. I do think some of the lighter defenses, mortars, machine guns, pair that up with the mines, that's gonna slow people down right away. But at the same time, everybody's gonna have mortars, everybody's gonna have machine guns. Brick, we want her at least at at level 4 will give us max Iron Will, and then to max her completely gives us max battle orders. And early on, I would say you don't need her at max level. Also, the explosive charge? What is it called? Cluster grenade. Explosive charge is Everspark. So yeah, I would say early on, you don't need level 6 battle orders, and you don't need level 6 Iron Will. Sure, it might help a little bit, but I think the tokens are going to be better spent elsewhere. I would focus on the defenses and the mines. Smokes, don't upgrade them. We don't need them upgraded. The only time you ever really upgrade smoke in warships is if you're having issues with the grappler. I did that last season. I maxed them. But yeah, other than that, of course, if we are going to be using the Zukas, we want to max them out. Yeah, and we're not going to have enough keys to get to rifles right out of the gates, I don't think. Not most of us anyways. So it's going to be... I mean, if we're not using Grens are going to be slow, though. And especially with no defenses, like, they're just going to take a long time. So we might get some wins with all Zukas right away because people might not have their mines yet. But if people have mines, then that's going to be tough. What you're going to have to do is kind of stagger drop your Zukas, like drop 2 and then drop 2, let the first 2 take out all the mines kind of thing. Or use Brick to go on one side with the cluster grenade, take out an engine or 2. For this kind of... this is 2 ERs. Let's move to 3 ERs real quick to see what it'll look like. So 3 engines, I mean, it's a big deck. It's a big deck for 3 ERs, but we've got 2 ramps, so... I'm thinking likely what'll happen is the engines will be somewhere probably in the middle, and there'll be a lot of defenses surrounding them, a lot of splash damage, a lot of mines, kind of forcing you to pick a mine path. I could also see this happening where, you end up stacking kind of all your defenses, either on the shore or like this, and then having like a bunch of machine guns, for example, just kind of stacked up like that. Like that's going to be impossible for Zukas to take down. Something like this, and then I don't know, mortars stacked in like that, then a bunch of mines over here. So it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky because do we have flares? That's going to make a big difference. We do have flares technically, so it's going to be very interesting, guys. It's going to be very interesting. I mean, try to take that down with using nothing but Zukas and Brick. It could work. It could work. With flares, be definitely easier. But yeah, so there's kind of some theory crafting for day 1. If you guys agree or disagree, or you have your own kind of plan hashed out, let me know down below in the comments. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. Catch you next one. Chicken out. Bear.